Today I am interviewing my dad about an ancestor of mine whose name is Franklin Lee. So, how exactly am I related to him?
To Franklin Lee Martin?
Yes.
Franklin Lee Martin is your third great-grandfather. So you have you, Lacey, and there's me. My name is Brian. My father's name is James Howard. His father was named James Aubrey Martin. His father was named Joseph Franklin Martin. And his father would be Franklin Lee Martin.
Okay. So what exactly is this person's background and what exactly brings him into our story?
So Franklin Lee Martin was born on May 13th, 1837 in Wilcox County, Alabama. He was born to John Henry Martin and Amy Painter Martin. John Henry is from Georgia. Amy Painter is from, John Henry is from South Carolina. Amy Painter is from Georgia. Franklin Lee Martin was the 10th of 15 children born to John Henry and Amy. He married Julia Ann Harris on January 20th, 1860. And during their marriage lifetime, they had 6 children. So the legend is focused around his service in the Confederate Army. On February 18th, 1864, Franklin Lee joined the Confederate Army as a private in Alabama's 43rd Regiment, also known as Gracie's Pride. In that story, we know that through muster rolls that he was hospitalized for typhoid fever on May 7th, 1864. And in January and February of 1865, it shows on the regiment's muster roll that he was absent without leave at home. So he basically went AWOL.
Alright, so what exactly is the legend surrounding, his being AWOL and...
So the legend around him being AWOL centers around the fact that while he was AWOL, a regiment or a group from the Confederate Army which he was serving with came to bring him back to the war. The story goes that was handed down from generation to generation is that Franklin Lee hid in a cave there near his home for several weeks while these individuals were in the area looking for him to take him back to military service. And during that time, he was snuck food into the cave to keep him alive so he wouldn't have to come out and be discovered.
Alright, so why do you and your family think that this is legend instead of just something that's true?
Well, the reason that we kind of think it's maybe legend is because I grew up, for example, in that area. So did my father and his father. And that same area where he lived and where he grew up. And we have never found or even heard any legends or stories about any caves in that area. In fact, the geography is not such that you would expect to find caves. There's no rock formations, no cliffs, no holes in the ground per se. So that's why we think that the story of Franklin Lee Martin hiding in a cave during the Civil War, while he does appear to have been AWOL, we don't know what cave he would have hid in.
Alright. Thank you.
You're welcome.